So I got your basic pattern 37. This is actually the MK2 pouch, just a tad bit shorter, and your basic cross strap. And this one I guess would be a right, since it doesn't have the loop in it. So basically what you're gonna first do, you take this little thing. Now later patterns also had a third loop, and I think you still keep the top loop for the L strap, and the second loop is probably just so you didn't have to actually put fabric to fabric, and I'll show you out here. So you take the end of a cross strap, doesn't matter which end, they're usually interchangeable lengthwise, put it through, okay? And obviously you don't want to go all the way, but give yourself enough. There you go. And as you can see, you're going to keep it open there. I'm going to pass it through that part, pull it through. Okay, so it's going to look something like that on the top. Now you're wondering, where the hell do you put this? So what you actually end up doing is you take that and you jam it in this opening. It doesn't look like an opening, but it is. There. It'll actually, see under there, it'll go right through. This is where your knife, if you have one, British, Canadian, whatever, marlin spike is your best friend here. And I should take that. I'm going to try to put the best view for it. Take that, and you're going to push it through and in. You can do this by hand too, or use a pencil or something like that. And when you do, look what happens. Nice, it comes out. Boom, you're good to go. So now your cross strap is through the front. Now take this and you attach these hoops to the belt, which I will show you in a minute. And you leave the end. I'm a tall guy, so I usually don't get a lot of the end, but leave the end a little bit longer. So I'm gonna straighten this in a little bit longer, and you're gonna want to do that because you're gonna be attaching things like your canteen. So after you have it here, you have this is a later pattern, canteen carrier. You're gonna have to loop it on to the ends here. There's no general rule of thumb. Usually I say the open end is the last loop you go through, usually. The canteen carriers kind of sit weird sometimes, so you can loop it really any way you want. But let me show you it goes on a belt. So this is probably gonna be the least fun part for you, but you're gonna have your pattern 37 Web Belt, okay? And so you're gonna have it adjusted to whatever size. This one's a little larger, so I think I have it tighter. So sometimes you need to double overlap, which isn't ideal. But I'm going to sort of show you, even though I'm going to put it further down the belt than I probably should. So you probably want it, maybe sitting there on the belt. So what you're going to then do on the back, cross strap. Usually you do the cross strap after. I'd put it on the belt first and get the positioning right and worry about the cross strap later. That's, I think, the best way to do it. So you're going to take the belt. I'm just going to stand in front of it. It's going to be the easiest way to do this. Tuck it up here, and there's little loops in the pattern 37 belt, and if you're lucky, you'll actually be able to feed one in. First go, and if not, this is where your marlin spike. So you see I've actually fed one in there already. The other one at the bottom hopefully will go just as easy. And if you've heavily blancoed your or painted your pattern 37 Web Belt, it's gonna be a lot harder because it's gonna be a lot harder to squeeze. So I've actually now, you can see they're tucked in here and tucked in here. I'll do the other side. So what I do usually, make it easy for myself to take the marlin spike, I'll go in, if you can see that, and I'll open that up. Just make it easier on myself. Slide it in. Take that, and that actually slid in nicely enough. So now I have a completed cross strap web belt setup. Now, as soon as I do the other one, you'll be able to, I guess this will be on the right, so I'm going to back up a little bit, give you some room to look. That'll be your one side already done. And like I said, you want to be able to leave this at the bottom to hook up to accessories on your hip, which is going to be your canteen carrier on your right, and on your left you're not really going to have anything, usually, depending on what you're trying to portray. Now, the other caveat to this is almost all infantry, everybody would have had the Bren pouches for grenades, Bren magazines, bandoliers of ammunition. Officers and MPs, people that didn't need to carry a lot of ammunition or need to instead carry binoculars and compasses, things like that, would use a brace extender, or sometimes it's actually built into the back of the binocular case and ammo pouch at the top. I don't have one to show you complete, so I'll show you this. So it's going to be something fairly similar. Now I'm just going to use the other end of this and make it super stupid easy. So this one you have no Bren pouch to worry about, but the same exact clip. So if you notice, these clips with the extender and the Bren pouch are the exact same, so treat them the exact same. And if you look, they're about the same length as well. Okay, I'm just going to use the same cross strap. And again, make sure you're using your cross strap properly. If you're using a British one, these tabs should be facing out, and this should be under you smoothly. If it's a Canadian one, usually they're a lot more nicely tapered, so you don't have to really worry about what side you're using, unless you have the left with the hoop that I showed you. Okay, so we're going to do this. Again, you take the end of your cross strap. I'm just using the same one I just used. I don't want to go grab the second one. Oh, actually, sorry. You're still going to want to keep the top one for your haversack, which I'll show you in a minute. So you're going to go through once there. You still keep the top open for the haversack. And down. Okay. And then what you can do, I think, and honestly I've actually, thinking now, I don't think I've ever done this, but if you saw there, I'm guessing the hole in the middle, rather than this looping around or you having to back it off all the way, now that you see it done, I think you just loop it in behind, just like you would with the Bren pouch. So I'm gonna do that now. Now you have a nice, neat, like I said, I'm using the other one, so don't get all confused, but let's pretend this is my left side. Great. Now I have it. Big question is, how do you attach this? So I'll show you on the Web Belt. And again, I'm using the exact same one. And it's been a while since I've done this, so don't get too confused. So pretend this is now my other side I'm doing. And you all do these in pairs, okay? Bren pouches in pairs and these in pairs. You don't have one on one side, unless you're doing some crazy special operations impression I've never seen. Now, do I have this backwards? Maybe I do. Give me a second to review this and I'll do it. Okay, so you got your P37 Web Belt. You can actually fold it. Fold it like that, because you're going to want to get it through this opening. And I'll show you how. So here you go. And you're going to have this buckle facing out. Lift it up. You're opening a door and I'm coming in from the back. So again, there's a cross strap to show you the reference to here. So I'm going in through the back. Going through, and I want to go out far enough that I can get this actually tabbed all the way down on the side. So I'm just going to show you that again. All the way through, tab down inside, and you pull it back. And now you have a complete attached cross strap to your Pattern 37 Web Belt. So I'm just going to show you that really quick, what that'll look like. Okay, now you're good to go. All right.